Welcome to Think Global's historical journey on the division of Korea. This is going to blow your mind. Korea, a land nestled on a peninsula in East Asia, boasts a rich and vibrant history spanning millennia. From its early days, Korea has been a place of significant cultural and historical development. The peninsula's strategic location made it a crossroads of various civilizations, influencing and being influenced by neighboring cultures. Known as the land of morning calm for its serene beauty, Korea has long been a center of culture, art, and innovation. The name itself evokes images of tranquil mornings and peaceful landscapes, a testament to the natural beauty that has inspired countless artists and poets throughout the ages. The Korean people have always held a deep respect for nature, which is reflected in their art, literature, and daily life. For centuries, a unified Korea flourished, its people sharing a common language, heritage, and identity. This unity fostered a strong sense of national pride and cultural continuity. The Korean dynasties, such as the Goryeo and Joseon, played pivotal roles in shaping the nation's identity, each contributing to the rich tapestry of Korean history. Dynasties rose and fell, leaving behind a legacy of stunning palaces, intricate artwork, and a unique cultural tapestry. The architectural marvels of the palaces, the delicate brushstrokes of traditional paintings, and the craftsmanship of artifacts all tell stories of a bygone era. These historical treasures offer a glimpse into the lives of the Korean people and their enduring spirit. However, the winds of change began to blow as Korea entered the tumultuous 20th century, setting the stage for a division that would cleave the nation in two. The early 1900s were marked by significant political and social upheaval as Korea faced external pressures and internal strife. The Japanese occupation, which lasted from 1910 to 1945, had a profound impact on the Korean people, leading to a period of resistance and struggle for independence. Following World War II, the peninsula was divided into North and South Korea, a division that remains to this day. This separation has shaped the modern history of Korea, influencing its politics, economy, and culture in profound ways. In the early history of Korea, key events and figures played crucial roles in shaping the nation's trajectory. The legendary founding of Gojoseon by Dangun Wanggeom in 2333 BCE marks the beginning of Korean civilization. This ancient kingdom laid the foundation for future Korean states. The Three Kingdoms period, spanning from the 1st century BCE to the 7th century CE, saw the rise of Goguryeo, Baekje, and Silla. These kingdoms were known for their military prowess, cultural achievements, and diplomatic relations with neighboring China and Japan. Figures like King Gwanggaeto the Great of Goguryeo expanded the kingdom's territory significantly, while King Seong of Baekje promoted Buddhism and cultural exchanges. The unification of the Korean Peninsula under the Silla dynasty in 668 CE marked a golden age of cultural and artistic development. The unified Silla period saw the construction of magnificent Buddhist temples, the creation of exquisite sculptures, and the flourishing of literature and science. The subsequent Goryeo dynasty, from 918 to 1392, is renowned for its contributions to Korean culture, including the creation of the Tripitaka Koreana, a comprehensive collection of Buddhist scriptures, and the production of Goryeo Celadon pottery, celebrated for its beauty and craftsmanship. The Joseon dynasty, lasting from 1392 to 1897, further solidified Korea's cultural and scientific achievements. King Sejong the Great, one of Korea's most revered monarchs, invented Hangul, the Korean alphabet, making literacy more accessible to the common people. The dynasty also saw advancements in science, technology, and governance, leaving an indelible mark on Korean history. implemented policies aimed at assimilating the Korean people into Japanese culture, suppressing Korean language, history, and traditions. Korean schools were forced to teach Japanese language and history, while the use of Korean in public was strictly prohibited. Thousands of Korean cultural artifacts and historical records were destroyed or stolen in an attempt to erase Korean identity. Economically, the Japanese exploited Korea's resources and labor, redirecting much of the agricultural and industrial output to benefit Japan. Korean laborers were often subjected to harsh working conditions, with little regard for their well-being, as they toiled in factories, mines, and fields to support the Japanese war effort. The Japanese also sought to control and exploit Korea's economy for their own benefit. Korean land was confiscated and redistributed to Japanese settlers, displacing countless Korean farmers. Korean laborers were forced to work in harsh conditions in Japanese-owned factories and mines, producing goods for the Japanese war machine. This exploitation of Korean resources and labor led to widespread poverty and hardship among the Korean population. The war left deep scars, both physically and emotionally, on the Korean people, setting the stage for future conflicts and struggles for independence. The end of World War II brought about significant geopolitical changes. At the Yalta Conference in 1945, the Allied leaders made decisions that would shape the post-war world. Korea, liberated from Japanese rule, was divided along the 38th parallel, with the Soviet Union occupying the north and the United States occupying the south. This division, initially intended as a temporary measure, became a permanent and defining feature of Korean history. The ideological differences between the occupying forces led to the establishment of two separate governments, each claiming to be the legitimate government of all Korea. the North, backed by the Soviet Union, adopted a communist regime, while the South, supported by the United States, established a capitalist government. These opposing ideologies and the external influences of the Cold War further deepened the division, eventually leading to the outbreak of the Korean War in 1950. The war solidified the division of Korea, creating a lasting impact on the Korean Peninsula and its people. The horrors of World War II were also visited upon Korean women, thousands of whom were forced into sexual slavery by the Japanese military. These women, known euphemistically as comfort women, endured unimaginable suffering, subjected to systematic rape and abuse. One survivor, Kim Bok-dong, shared her harrowing experience of being taken at the age of 14, and the years of torment she faced. Many of these women were deceived with promises of work or education, only to find themselves trapped in military brothels. The plight of the comfort women remains a deeply sensitive and unresolved issue between Korea and Japan to this day. Their stories have broader implications, highlighting the need for recognition, reparations, and a commitment to preventing such atrocities in the future. As the war raged on, the tide began to turn against Japan. The relentless battles in the Pacific, marked by intense naval warfare and strategic island-hopping campaigns, began to wear down the Japanese forces. The Allies, with their superior resources and coordinated efforts, started gaining the upper hand. The United States, engaged in a fierce battle against Japanese forces across the Pacific, began to consider the post-war fate of Korea. The strategic importance of Korea, situated between China, Japan, and the Soviet Union, made it a focal point of Allied discussions. American military and political leaders held numerous strategy meetings to deliberate on the future of the region. In 1943, at the Cairo Conference, the Allied leaders, the United States, Great Britain, and China, declared their intention to grant Korea independence in due course. This conference, held in the midst of the global conflict, brought together President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Prime Minister Winston Churchill, and Generalissimo Chiang Kai-shek. Their discussions were pivotal in shaping the post-war order in Asia. This declaration, while offering a glimmer of hope to the Korean people, also contained the seeds of future division. The Korean populace, long under Japanese colonial rule, yearned for freedom and self-determination. The announcement from the Cairo Conference was met with a mix of optimism and uncertainty among Koreans who were eager to rebuild their nation. The ambiguous phrase "in due course" left the question of how and when Korean independence would be achieved open to interpretation. This lack of clarity created a vacuum that various political factions sought to fill. The Allied leaders' intentions were noble, but the practicalities of implementing Korean independence were fraught with complexities and geopolitical considerations. The Cairo Conference was a significant moment in the Allied strategy, but it also highlighted the differing priorities and visions among the leaders. Roosevelt, Churchill, and Chiang Kai-shek each had their own perspectives on the future of Asia, and these differences contributed to the ambiguity surrounding Korea's future. This ambiguity, coupled with the emerging rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, would have far-reaching consequences for the Korean Peninsula. As the Cold War began to take shape, Korea found itself caught in the crossfire of superpower tensions. The ideological divide between the capitalist West and the communist East manifested in the eventual division of Korea into two separate states, setting the stage for decades of conflict and division that continue to impact the region to this day.